Netflix is about to get canceled. Latto's out here selling her panties, and Beyonce broke the internet again. And probably my pockets. All that and more. Stay tuned. This weekly review. What up, y'all? It's your boy DJ Jesse J. Welcome back. How y'all feeling? What up, y'all in the chat? We gonna get into some stuff. Welcome to the circus. That's the title of this episode because that's what I feel like we are in, and we're gonna get into it. I got, you already know, Miss Courtney Stewart in the building. Hey, boo.
Circus, what's up, y'all? Hey.
Well, first things first. Netflix getting on my damn nerves, but before we get into that, did you watch? Now, I actually had to have a breakup. I did break up with him a few years ago, Michael B. Jordan.
Wait, I didn't know you broke up with him.
We did. We broke up. You know, the Lori Harvey thing really threw me for a loop. It was just because the thing is, look, visually, they're stunning together. Gorgeous. Sure. Those children would have been everything.
Advertising.
But like, you know where Michael B. Jordan sat with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like, I just wanted him to have that one girl, settle down, have the kids, do the thing. And Lori Harvey is living her best life. And yes, I didn't see that fairy tale for them. So
I didn't see it either, but it was hot for the moment. Like, they should be able to enjoy.
No, it was hot for like 3 months, and then it was like, oh, this is like a thing. They're trying to like do this.
Well, because they like each other. That's good. Or maybe they like the publicity, you know.
Maybe, but either or. Bye. I'm into boxing now, and Koreans, because we'll get into that later. But
went to Creed, you went to Koreans. I'm so confused.
Girl, we will get into. My man is Korean. Okay, but wait, what were you gonna say about Creed?
No, I was just saying, because you know that I guess somebody posted the poster and it was all over Instagram like 2 days ago. And it's just, you know, Jonathan Majors, who is actually my current crush, way over Michael B. Jordan for quite some time. But their bodies just look like gods and like Greek gods. And I was like, ooh, we need to rent the theater and have ourselves a nice little party to watch the Creed movie. And I'm ashamed. Well, I'm not really ashamed. I've never actually watched any of the Creed movies. Sorry.
Girl, I haven't even seen Scarface. Like, first of all, that's a movie I always get embarrassed to say, but like Creed, I would be like, okay.
No, I'm embarrassed because I am Black. I am a fan of the Rocky films.
See, I don't even know if I've seen all the Rockies for real.
I've seen all of the Rockies up to 5. If there was one past that, I ain't seen
First of all, there's 5. I only saw the first, maybe 2.
4 is still my favorite, even though it is very upsetting. But yeah, so I've seen all of those. And so I, as a Black person, support my Black creators and, you know, wanted to support Michael B. Jordan because I really like him. So I tried to watch the first one. I just never really got through it. And then I just kind of never came back to it. I don't know. It wasn't my thing. But I'm going to see this one because I want to see those two brown men go at it. And it's also Michael's, you know, directorial debut. So.
Well, all right. I'm down. You know, I already know I'm down. But he also hosted Saturday Night Live this last weekend, and so I was like, let me go see my man since he's single now. And his style, everything was just so fine. The little choker diamond necklace, like I was just like, yes, like everything was perfect.
It was.
But he did a monologue. I thought his monologue was meh, but he's meh. Like, I don't expect him to do this kind of thing. Like, I don't really. He's not the like jokester kind of guy, but I will give him his skits were funny. The Jake State Farm skit is hilarious, genius. He was the perfect person for it. If you have not seen it, just YouTube it. It's awesome. Shout out to that because also Little Baby, like I love you. I love you. I love you. Like, I just want to like pat you on the head like a child.
I want to give him a hug. Like, I just want to be like, oh, come here, baby. You are just
Because
adorable.
people are like, oh, what was he on? And it's like, maybe because he does drink the things and does the stuff. But I just kind of think he just is a weird. I think he's really antisocial. I feel like if you watch his documentary, he's really somebody who just has always hustled. Like, he doesn't stay in the house. You know, his family his sisters and his mom would always say like he just would be out in the streets getting money. If he never just wanted to sit around. So I
Okay.
feel like it makes sense for him to be where he is. Because even watching him in concert, I was like, he don't look like he don't really look at the audience. I don't know. So I feel like he was just overly nervous.
Jesse, he got a documentary?
Yeah, girl, on Prime, Amazon Prime.
Ooh, honey. See where I've been, because it ain't been knowing that. Thank you for that information. I'll have to go look at that.
Honestly, it's actually pretty interesting. It made me like him better. Like, I mean, I liked some of his songs. You know, to me, a lot of them sound similar. Not really.
Name one for me, because I'm sure I'll know it when I hear it, but I just can't tell none of them apart no more.
Girl, I mean, just pick 2 words, and they're probably the name of a song of his. You know what I'm saying? Like, No Love. Like, probably. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I just wasn't into it. But as a person, I was like, I fucked with him. I liked it.
He's cute.
So shout out to him and Michael B. Jordan for SNL. I guess shout out to Joe Biden because...
Really?
Well, I don't know. Because I just feel like he trying to cover up for this debt right now. And
He ain't trying to cover up for no debt, child.
well, he out here talking about we in debt and then trying to find funds to go
We
give
in
to...
debt.
Huh?
We've been in debt. This is not news.
I know, but like then we keep giving money and that's the thing.
We exist on debt. We've been constantly giving money for ages. That is our existence. We live a life of credit, and pretending like that's something new is what they want us to do, to buy into this bullshit. It is not new. It is not new, and they keep doing it. And they're going to keep doing it.
Well, exactly. And so one of the things to, I guess, make people happy right now is we're ending COVID, guys. COVID, the emergency is over. We have every other emergency in the world, but apparently COVID, no longer. Starting in May, the emergency funds that anyone's been getting are gone. And we're not worried about COVID right now. The state of emergency has, after 3 years now, we are now pulling it down. And so that's something to cheer about. I think it's kind of funny, interesting that I know a lot of people who got COVID last week. Like there was like a flu of it. And that's interesting.
That's kind of funny. That's what they're saying. It's basically endemic. It is like a flu now.
Yep. So
And what we're gonna do with it.
there's that. Okay, I'm gonna bring in Derrial, Christian, because you already know, and I just want him to talk about some of these topics that we're about to get into with us.
We got a signer, Justin, in the chat. He wants to see the new Creed movie, and he ain't seen Scarface either. I'm gonna need y'all to watch Scarface though.
I'm all set. We got Derrial in the building. What up, D?
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
Oh, good. You know, are you excited? Did you see Michael B. Jordan on SNL?
I did.
Did you?
I think that's gonna be really good, and I like it because it's different for him. So I'm looking forward to see what that looks like.
Yeah. Are you excited for the new Creed?
Absolutely.
There
Yeah.
you go.
I love them, so I've watched all of them, so I'm ready for it.
Oh, he done seen all of them, Jesse.
Oh, all right.
Okay, honey. Okay.
I gotta take even the Rocky days, you know what I'm saying? So I follow it all.
See, he holding on to his black card. Mine is like on hiatus with that.
Well, we'll get it. We might have some other black cards for you later in the episode too. So hold on. We'll see. We'll see where you're at in life with Courtney. Because right now you're down 2 with Creed and Lil Baby's documentary.
I mean, I don't feel like the documentary should be on the list. I really know who Lil Baby is.
I'm just kidding. All right.
Or do you know what Lil Baby was?
No, she did, but she didn't know that he had a documentary.
Okay.
Did you know, Derrial, he got a documentary?
The way he just said that sounded like probably not.
He didn't
Probably.
know.
No, I
No,
didn't know. I'm not even gonna act like I did. So at least I admit it.
exactly.
Well, speaking of documentaries, y'all, I'm gonna let y'all carry this one, but Lisamariepresley, she passed away last week, the 22nd or the 17th, and they had the funeral on the 22nd.
Yeah.
You know, hey, there's rumors now. Now, of course, when someone passes away, two things are gonna come up: a documentary and question of drugs being at use, and both of those things came within a week's time. Within a week's time, we got a documentary, which I just thought was interesting. Like a week? Like, were we planning this? Was this, we
Maybe.
whipped that right together. Yeah. So condolences to the family. Her brother came out, and that was also questionable within the family as well. Just seems like that world of Hollywood, that royalty is just dark, and I don't envy those lives, and I have sympathy and empathy for all of them, because Lisa looked
terrible
before a few weeks prior. So
yeah, I
I
agree.
actually saw Lisamariepresley at the Golden Globe Awards, and it was interesting because when she walked past us, we both had the same reaction. We were like, "Wow, she doesn't look good." You know, she looked really, like thin and frail, very fragile. And I actually was watching. I'm sure Courtney was too when she kind of like jumped into the interview during I'm forgetting his name, who played Elvis. Um,
Austin Butler.
Austin Butler, he was getting interviewed, and she jumped in that interview, and just watching her like kind of like have to be held up. She looked like she was a little wobbly and almost falling over. So to hear the news 2 days after the Golden Globes wasn't like a complete shock after we saw her, but it's still all sad. And now, I hear that Priscilla is fighting against the estate and talking about that, that there's some false signatures of things that at least Marie may have wanted that Riley to have, and her daughters to have full kind of legal, kind of the legal ramifications of kind of having all of the estate, and Priscilla's fighting that. So it's going to be interesting to see where this story goes, because I feel like this is about to be a little bit messy.
Ooh, I mean, it always is. And then we got Michael Jackson's nephew gonna be playing him in a documentary. So
it's not a documentary; it's a film.
Oh, a film. Excuse me.
It's a film. It's not a doc.
It is a film.
So there we go. We're keeping, the icons.
Keep them alive. Keep them alive.
All right. Who is about to get canceled? Not I was gonna say that. Canceled is Netflix. I don't know if y'all seen it. I don't know if it's really true, because Netflix. I haven't seen Netflix come out and say this. I'm seeing articles saying that Netflix came out and said this, but Netflix is talking about some wild stuff, y'all. So remember, they upped their prices a year or two ago because they said a lot of users have multiple users on their account, and they were just trying to, traffic a way to control multiple users. So they upped the price. Everyone was like, all right. They complained about it, but we got over it because we were like, yeah, you're right. I'm using, so-and-so's password.
I'm guilty of it. I'm using my family's password.
And that's mostly what it is. It's like, just have a family plan. You know what I'm saying? Like, have a Netflix family plan. That's all I'm saying. But now, because even if I purchase my own account, here's what I don't like. The new thing is going to be, they're going to attach your account to a residence.
Yes.
So if you leave that residence, if you're not connected to that Wi-Fi, they're going to log you out of your account. Now, you say you're on vacation, then you get a code that you can use for 7 days. After that 7 days, it logs you out, and you can only do that for a certain amount of times. And I'm just like, what about people who work? Like, I'm going to be traveling for 2 months. So what, now I can't watch Netflix?
It's
or
trash.
I have to re-register? I just think that this is, now I question if Netflix put this out there to see what the backlash would be. And then
Perhaps.
maybe they won't. Like, just add $3 for every device. I would rather you add $3
No,
for
no, 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 no. Add $3 for every device outside of your house. If
Right.
you want Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I support that. Every device outside of the house should be charged $3 extra. I'm okay with that.
I'm fine with
But like this, like even the other day, I was trying to watch something just outside, and it wouldn't load until I connected to my internet. I was like, oh, absolutely not.
Yeah.
No, ma'am, not a fan.
And I mean, I've heard that. I mean, obviously, they've said, I don't know the financials of Netflix, but there has been word that Netflix financially is in some struggles. For
Well,
real.
yeah, because they gave all that money to Beyonce, the Obamas, like.
They give a lot of money to. Why you got to name all the black people? What
Well,
about
those-
Ryan Murphy?
Child.
Right.
Totally kidding. But
Those
they
are
did
the first
give.
two people that I thought of.
Netflix was giving the bags. But that being said, like, to ostracize like half of your freaking subscriber base, like, is young people and Gen Zers who are, if you take a kid and goes to college and they can't use their parents' password, they're not gonna buy Netflix.
Right. And especially because like even like right now, like I find myself on the other platforms. I find myself on Peacock a lot right now. Hulu.
I'm definitely a peacock. Yeah.
Yeah, Peacock has stepped it right on up.
They have. I've seen some really good programming on Peacock. I'm watching Peacock, Hulu, HBO Max. They got a lot of great stuff. I mean,
Well,
to be honest with you, I'm also like a huge fan of horror, right? We all know this. And to me, Netflix actually has sort of the weakest horror movies or original horror movies that come out. I find that Peacock is stepping up their game. I find that Amazon Prime is
Yeah,
stepping
Prime definitely has some good thriller movies.
up. They got
But
good thriller horror movies coming out.
2 weeks ago, Derrial, we talked about Megan, and you brought up that movie Sick on Peacock. You guys, go watch Sick. I loved it. I thought it was great. I actually thought it was better than Megan for a horror movie. Like, Megan was just different. But
Yeah,
like,
Megan
if you're expecting a horror movie, this was great. I thought it had realistic moments in it. It had funny moments. It had little jump scares. So shout out to Peacock, because that's a Peacock original, I believe.
It is.
ooh, I still haven't watched it. It's on my list for my movie night this weekend, actually.
There you go. Something else coming up. We talked about it at the end of last year. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Kind of happy for some of the
Kinda.
people in this. Well, I'm very happy. Missy Elliott. There we go.
Yes!
Like, shout out to Missy Elliott. She's going to be recognized this year in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Cyndilauper. Meh. Here's my thing with Cyndilauper. I just feel like to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, like, she's iconic, but she's really iconic for two songs. And really for one, we older generations know two. Everyone knows the one, but like, there's other people whose bodies of work, it's like that deserve to be Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Like, Missy Elliott worked her. Not to say Cyndilauper does not work her ass off and do whatever she does, but like, I don't know. I just feel like catalog-wise.
Have some
Hey,
credits.
listen, catalog. Sorry, say that again, Courtney.
I was just saying, does Cindy have like credits we don't know about? Is she like a writer for some awesome songs that we just have no idea
Maybe.
about?
I just,
I don't know
at
anything
this
about.
point in my life, when I think of Cyndi Lauper, all I think about is that performance of her and Lil' Kim singing Time After Time. And
That's what they're judging on. That's like that.
it just, like, anytime I want to sing her version, or I do like Black's version. I don't know if you guys remember that. Black did have a version of Time After Time on their debut album. But like, when I hear Cyndi Lauper, like, I love Cyndi Lauper's version. But then when I heard the Lil' Kim one, it was just like, now all I hear is, when you go away, time after time. Although I will give, when Cyndi Lauper and Patti LaBelle did Lady Marmalade with Jessica Simpson,
Yeah,
VH1
that's good.
Divas, Cyndi Lauper showed up Jessica Simpson and kept right along with.
Well, Cyndi Lauper can sing.
You
She,
say that like Jessica had a chance. So like,
Well, I mean, look, when I hear Cindy, I just hear, so, which Jessica, I guess, has that same thing. But George Michael will be getting a award for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Now, see,
Would it?
George, okay, I can see that. Willie Nelson, deserving.
I Deserving.
Deserving.
Rage
Matt
Against
Willie
the
deserving.
Rage Against the Machine.
I think that's deserved.
Tribe Called Quest.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I'm actually more excited for them than Missy. I can't believe it's taken them this long to get in it. Sherylcrow, very well deserved.
Yeah. She had a lane.
Not a lot of women this year, actually. And the White Stripes. And then there were some other people I didn't know who they were, and I Googled them. And so shout out to everyone. Congratulations. Who I think deserves recognition this year, and I believe that they will because it is their 21st anniversary. And I just feel like we need it in life to add to the circus that is going on. Because I think they bring an element to not only music but pop culture that's just fun and not like, okay, like what are we like canceling or worried about today? But the Spice Girls. I just feel like MTV, give them the Vanguard Award this year or something. Like, I just feel like we need some to bring the Spice Girl energy back right now. I feel like we need good pop music, fun pop music, something that's not serious. And I feel like the Spice Girls, I'm here for that. Courtney?
You know, I appreciate the Spice Girls, even though I was not a Spice Girl fan for real, when the Spice Girls were a thing. But I got it. It just wasn't for me. I just don't know. I feel like it was such a blip on the radar. I don't really feel that they like altered.
They're literally like one of the, like, if not the number one selling girl group.
Oh, yeah. So if there's an award for like an amazing selling group, then sure. But like in terms of an actual shift of music and culture and like that had long lasting meaning, I don't see that. But there's an argument to be made, I'm sure. I just haven't heard it.
See, I just feel like for me, the Spice Girls, they were a blip, but I feel like they created the pop group. Like we had Backstreet Boys, kind of. They kind of were coming out around when the Spice Girls came out. But like the Spice Girls was like a full-on girl group. There was a person for everybody in it, a flavor for everybody. And it really just had this campy, I don't know. There's just something about, it was like TLC, but like the mega stardom of the Spice Girls because they were from the UK and the worldwide phenomenon that they had, I just feel like influenced a lot of the groups that came out, and they didn't have that same pizzazz that those five girls did with those two albums, because anything after those two was nothing to be spoken about. But like, again, it could be Spice Girls. I only say that because it's their 21st anniversary this year. Or TLC. I really believe that should.
I think TLC should definitely be there. I mean, they both were phenomenons in their own way. I feel like the Spice Girls definitely deserve it because they were such a just universal across the world phenomenon. I mean, they had Spice Girl. My sister had Spice Girl dolls. You know what I mean? I don't know if they were TLC dolls, but I mean, well deserved. They could have been. Chili would have made a very attractive doll, but and T-Boz and Left Eye. But I just feel like TLC will have their moment. They deserve that moment too. But Spice Girls were such a phenomenon across the world. I mean, movies and dolls, and they almost had like that effect of like the Jacksons and Michael Jackson, like people crying and falling.
It was
out.
like a phenomenon. Like I feel like every K-pop group is inspired from the bones of Spice Girls. Like when I see any of those girl groups, that's the first thing I think about. They try to put a person like, you're gonna be the fun one, you're gonna be this. Where TLC, they just authentically were that. It wasn't like they were chosen to be those girls, or like, I mean, Destiny's Child, they were chosen to be those girls, except Beyonce. But yeah, I don't know. But speaking of musical acts, it's just, the reason I say that is because I want to get back to the music, you guys. I feel like this circus, this media circus we are in, this thing where rappers aren't even, or artists aren't known for their music. They're known for, like Latto. She's out here selling her cheetah panties because people saw that she wore the same underwear twice and wanted to drag her. So she tried selling them on eBay and got pulled down. Which I thought, why would it get pulled down? I'm sure people
Yeah,
sell.
that's weird. Why did it get pulled down?
I guess it was like a sanitary thing or something. I'm like, don't people sell like spit and urine and like crazy
Yeah.
things?
And wasn't it at like $80,000 or something?
Yeah, like 90 or something like that. But just insane.
But also, like, what's wrong with us?
I don't know.
You don't have more than one of the same kind of underwear?
Right.
Like, who have more than
I
one
mean,
of the same?
the black underwear I have that are briefs. You know what I mean? Like
I literally found the underwear that I love, and I ordered like 50 pairs. So, like, why? Whose mama? Who did that? Made this a thing? Like, she could have more than one of the same pair of drawers.
I don't know. I'm just in a place where I'm like, literally no female rappers are dropping music right now, and this is what we're talking about. Like,
wait, I thought what's her name? Glorilla.
Who?
Glorilla.
Who?
Glorilla. Didn't she drop something?
Girl, get out of here. All right, you know who did drop something? Beyonce, and here we go. This is why I'm calling it a circus, you guys. There's so many things happening in the world. I don't give two shits about them because Beyonce dropped the release dates for the Renaissance tour. And as much as that excites me, the picture that she dropped of her on top of that horse in that diamond glitter ensemble, it's giving rodeo girl. It's low-key giving me Britney Spears' Las Vegas Dream Within a Dream, Baby One More Time with the diamond top when she came dropping down from the top of the stage with water. It's everything. So she released these dates, not the tickets, but it just so happens that apparently tickets were everywhere for thousands of dollars. And people are saying it's all a scam. But these are on some pretty popular and known websites. Have you guys taken a look at that yet? I mean, I know you have because me and Courtney were the first ones talking with each other.
I know you guys have, but I did a little research on it because a lot of what they're saying are these are scalper tickets that are out there right now, and that officially the tickets are supposed to allegedly go on sale tomorrow. But it's all these verified fan places that you have to get the tickets. Like there's the Bayhive pre-sale verified site. There's the City pre-sale. There's Verizon pre-sale. There's General Verified. So they're saying that starting tomorrow, those are the places that you legit can get the tickets.
Wait, look, Courtney's in her phone right now looking at the.
No, I just don't understand this whole because look, this game of tickets in this new era that we are in is ridiculous, and I don't understand how scalpers are able to sell tickets that haven't been released yet.
Well, my question was like people who are like work for Rock Nation, or maybe they got tickets in advance, or they know that they're already bought into getting certain seats for things, so maybe they can sell those. I don't know. Maybe they own. That was the only thing I could think of.
All I know
and if I had those tickets in advance and I knew what I could charge for those tickets because they're not out yet, I would do possibly the same thing. I mean, even the tickets that I've been looking at, they've been like anywhere between $600 and $1,000 from what I've seen so far, and the $600 seats are in the very nosebleed.
I would sell it, and then I would buy my ticket.
Right.
Here's the deal, though. We on watch, y'all. Everybody say a prayer. We're gonna take a moment of prayer. We got Barcelona. We got
praying for Beyonce, y'all. These are the answer. We're gonna have to answer to God for all of this. He's gonna be like, "You remember the Renaissance tour?" And I'll be like, "I know."
Yes. And I'll be like, "Yes, Lord, I know, but you want me to have joy in my life."
I'm like, "Remember the past 3 years?"
You know what I'm saying? Like, I have worked hard, but I'm not gonna be ridiculous about it. But we gonna see this show.
Oh, we definitely seen this show. PM616 says, "Hey everyone, I'm so excited. I've seen Beyonce twice and I'm going for a third." Ryan says, "I heard that Beyonce said tickets will be 75 to 200. 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. You guys. Yes. I think everyone, again, there's this like social psychoness where all these rumors come out. Like, Beyonce, I don't see Beyonce being elitist. Like, okay, obviously she is, but like not to the extent of like she knows who's trying to go see this show. So, girl, the tickets need to be at some, like, we're not out here paying $1,200.
The best
Although,
I saw said, for the woman that told us all to quit our jobs last year, she needs to be charging the prices for the unemployed. So I support that, and $75 to $200 is real life. Like I can get with that, but there's no way that we're gonna be like those 75 to 200 idea is probably gonna be like that many tickets because bots are gonna swipe them up.
oh, 1,000,000% they're gonna swap.
$2,000.
They're gonna swap them up. Like Beyonce really out here, y'all. Like, think about it. She has a lottery for her tickets, right?
Yeah.
What do we? What's the lottery for? The lottery just to pay to buy the tickets.
Yes.
Like, think about it. You
So
paid for
in all the lotteries. You're not in all the lotteries. You have to pick what city. Like
see,
they have sections.
but that's my thing. Only Beyonce. Like, what do you pay the lottery? What happens with the lottery? You pay to win millions of dollars. But Beyonce, we paying to pay her money. We paying to get into a lottery that we may not even win. It's just a lot. It's a lot. And it's a lot. I've done a lot of soul searching with this, Beyonce. Might have to go to the church of Beyonce for it. But Derrial, you got some celebrity wealth news on Beyonce because she did that big old show. What you got for
She did
us?
that show. She did. She was in the Dubai area doing her hour set of hits that she's gotten a lot of controversy around. I mean, Beyonce was there and she was crushing it. I mean, I don't know if you've seen those pictures online or any of the videos that are out there. I mean, she gave a full show, and it was for the it was.
Oh, you cutting out, D? Or am I cutting out? Courtney,
I
you
was
there?
like, I hear you, Jesse. I don't hear Derrial. What happened?
Oh, Derrial. Okay, and I
No.
thought it was going to be me because, look, y'all, I'm happy we do the show today because if it was tomorrow, the way these wires are about to freeze in -5 degrees, I know Ryan Gray in the comments knows because you going to be in that cold too, bro. PM.
He talking about the $24 million concert in Dubai.
That's what he was talking about.
Was talking about. Well, while we're waiting for him to possibly reconnect, he'll talk about the money and the wealth of it all, but can we talk about the controversy around should she be performing in those spaces because of their, law?
Yes, we can. But before we do, let's we have a host coming in for Housewives. You already know he be in the chat, and he's the homie for years. So we got Ronnie in the building. Ronnie Jr., what up, boy?
Hey.
Hey.
What's up with you two? First of all, you guys do a great job week after week. So congratulations on that. And beyond, I just wanted to say I love the name Next Mood Swing because we could laugh at it all we want. But honestly, this was a week for me. Like, I was frustrated. You go through your own personal mood swings. And it's weird because we do broadcasts, so we're always expected to jump behind the microphone and be happy. And it's definitely a lot. So I shout out what you guys are doing here every week.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And that is the point. Sometimes, you know what I mean? Look, I got my beanie on. I didn't want to shave today. And it's because it's cold. So my mood is cold, and this is it. And this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to talk about. But Ronnie, we're going to get into some Housewives in a little bit, but I wanted to bring you in the conversation. And we got Derrial here, too. Derrial, what was you talking about, $24 million?
Yeah, $24 million. So Beyonce has been getting a little bit of pushback because of her performance in Dubai at the Atlantis Royal Resort, because she did an hour set for the opening of the resort that was $24 million that she earned. And a lot of people have a lot of opinions about this because they feel like, obviously a lot of Beyonce supporters are in the gay community, and we know the rules that are in Dubai, that they do not support that, and there's not a lot of support for women there too. So a lot of people have a lot of different opinions about Beyonce performing there and deciding to do that, even if it was $24 million. And I mean, they were saying that she stayed in a lavish hotel that was $100,000 a night. And, people are kind of upset that she took that check. What do you guys think about that?
I think, shout out to Beyonce for doing it, and here's why. because I hear the whole and PM16s talking about what do you guys think? Oh, that's a set list.
Oh, that's
Here's my thing. I think, first of all, it's 24 million fucking dollars. One, period. I'm gay, and I would go there. Like, I won't touch nobody. I won't even look at nobody. Like, hello, 24 million dollars. Period. Come on, and the idiots at home tapping on the keyboard would do the same thing. Anyways, but what by Beyonce going there and performing, one, I just think it's dope because she has gay backup dancers, that she's bringing gay people to perform in Dubai. Period. Her power is so strong, she can do that. One. Two, it shows a hypocrisy, right? They're so elitist over there. They're so grand and, the gluttony of everything over there. But, gay is a sin. It's crazy to me. And then I also think the fact that Beyonce doing it by her being there in front of those people, it influences them, and it influences younger generation to be like, open their mind to want to be a part of this, movement of Beyonce and what she represents and the Western world and their ways. So for that reason, I don't think that it's her. It's like, bitch, you people complaining probably eat Chick-fil-A. Like, get over yourselves. I don't know. Do you guys? I don't think it was a big deal personally.
The question is there a cost or to what your values are? So I think that's what's in question here. Yes, it's $24 million. Anyone would say that for $24 million, you would consider possibly changing your viewpoint about something.
I mean, Beyonce literally has a lyric where she talks about using the Bible, a page from the Bible, as like a tampon. So I don't think that, like, you know what I mean? Like, I think she's okay with it, and I don't think it's a moral. What harm does it do? I mean, it would be even doper if she took some of that money and gave it to, a prominent gay charity. I think that would be really cool. Roddy, what do you think?
I think that sometimes the sheer essence of your contribution does make a little bit of a change. I'm thinking back when Jay-Z signed on to work with the NFL. It did make you want to cringe initially, but knowing all that has happened from that point, and, you see, 1 year it's J-Lo, Shakira performing. We got Rihanna performing. I'm so excited about that.
I know.
I want, huh?
I can't wait.
I want to, like, see these moments and be like, oh, come on, Jay-Z, don't align yourself with the NFL. But there is contributions where things make, change. So the same thing with this, like Beyonce being there, her sheer essence, you made a point within the dancers, et cetera, et cetera. Like, it does make that contribution of her being there to enlighten maybe some of those darker things that we've known about Dubai. And I mean, obviously she can't make that much change. I don't really feel like it's a moral thing for her. I don't feel like she sold her soul by any means. And you know what? They actually did a really interesting moment. I know a lot of people didn't watch Real Housewives of Dubai, but I did. And they had actually a scene or a couple scenes that spoke to that. So I'm a little open to the idea. And I mean, as a gay man, I got to feel how I feel for sure. But Dubai seems nice. And, maybe I'll travel there. And I still got morals and integrity. So there it is.
There you go. Courtney, what do you jump on the boat? What you thinking?
Look, I am never going to be in the business of telling Black people to not secure every single bag that they possibly can. So I think that she has definitely probably got gay fans in Dubai that deserve to get a show, whether they get to be out about their gayness or not. And I think that hopefully that brought them some joy. And I think that it's kind of a little hypocritical, whereas technically, gayness isn't criminalized in the United States. There are plenty of places where she will do shows in the States that homosexuality for those states is a problem. We got people passing stay woke acts in Florida, y'all. Or stay or not woke or whatever the hell they call that act, where you can't stay gay, you can't talk about your gay mama and daddy, like you can't do none of that. So everybody that's like super upset, like, again, will she move the needle in a whole nother country culture like by being there? Probably not. It might be minuscule, but in the end, if it brought any of those people over there that are fans of hers a little piece of joy and a little moment of reprieve, who am I to be like, no, girl, you don't need to do that? And I definitely am not telling her to interrupt her generational wealth by not taking a job. Like, if you felt good about it, then do you, boo. That is for you to live with, and you got to look in the mirror, and if you good with it, I'm good with it. So I'm gonna let her have her moment. But when y'all was talking about the NFL thing, that's another whole conversation we can have another time.
Oh, and we will, because well, Super Bowl coming up, we'll bring it up then. Because actually, my conspiracy, I have conspiracy theories for y'all every week. I'll get more details for it for when we talk about. We'll bring the Super Bowl up next week in the NFL. But the conspiracy this week, if you want to do your little research, TikTok research, is apparently the Super Bowl is a sex trafficking. Is a very well-known sex trafficking ring, and there's video footage. I was blown. You have to go on BitChute to find this, which BitChute is a whole, I don't know if you know what that is. It's like the YouTube of like underground stuff, things that YouTube won't pull up. BitChute got it. And there's all these same vans every year. Now it could be anything, but they always park above sewer holes, and it's just weird. It's just weird. I don't know if it's real. It's probably not. Who knows? Who knows?
I mean, I don't know if they're parking above the holes, but I know we've been warned since we were young partying girls that the Super Bowl in whatever city it's in is a dangerous place for sex trafficking.
Well, and everyone's making it because it's in Arizona this year, and apparently whatever that, I'm going to get more information next week, and we'll talk about it next week. But Derrial, speaking of the Super Bowl, what do you got about Tom Brady? Because he's been in the news.
Well, Tom Brady, as we all know, is like the all-American quarterback of the world. Well, he has just recently announced that after 23 years of playing football that he is retiring, but he's hanging up his helmet to get in front of the camera because he's going to be a Fox Sports analyst breaking down all of football in the upcoming future. So they're saying that his deal is estimated to be about $375 million for a 10-year contract. That's what that is what they're saying in the news that his deal is coming to. So, $375 million. Tom Brady's got this great deal. He's going to be in front of the camera. Now, a lot of people are being a little skeptic about if his personality can carry what our current Fox sports analysts and other sports analysts have. For example, we look at like sports analysts like Terry Bradshaw or Emmitt Smith, or we look at Troy Aikman, who all kind of have these big personalities. What Tom has been used so much to being kind of the leader of the team, a little bit quiet. You don't really know a lot about him, but he's a great leader as far as quarterback side. But no one really sees Tom's personality. So people are wondering, will he come out of his shell? Will he be able to deliver like other Fox sports analysts? Is he going to be able to laugh at himself? Is he going to be a little bit more relaxed? Because a lot of times when they see Tom Brady, he's a little bit more serious. So that's the question. But you know what? For $375 million, I think Tom Brady will figure it out.
Join the circus. Join the circus. Sign up. Because what are you doing, bro? What are you doing? He looked really sad. I feel like he really does not want to stop playing, but he going to do it. I feel like this is the time.
Does he want to live for the next, 40 years at least, or 30 years?
I mean, but will he enjoy himself?
So, I don't know. Maybe not, child. But good Lord. You got kids. Go raise your kids for a little while.
Well, I also thought it was funny, Giselle leaving the comment under his thing, like, good luck. We wish you the best. Girl. Oh,
really?
Giselle new photo shoots. She's going back to, she still looks the same that she did when she was beginning modeling. So she's gone back to her career and moved on. She said, I just recently read an article that she was saying that she's moved on way before any of this stuff had been announced about them getting divorced. So, and that's typically the case. So she's back to living her best life.
Good for her. And whoever that man teaching her martial arts to her children, he looked real good too. Go on and enjoy Costa Rica with him too.
Oh, speaking of looking real good. All right. So before I get you off, Derrial, I wanted to talk about this. Nialong, I mean, it's just wild how someone can just be insanely gorgeous their entire life.
entire life.
And it's just like every year you become a different enigma of beauty.
Yes, that is
Crazy.
Nialong. Yes.
But so she's obviously been out doing her press run for You People on Netflix with Eddie Murphy, Lauren London, Jonah Hill, and she's gotten quite some buzz for a couple topics that she's talked about. One, she was supposed to be in Charlie's Angels, and obviously the original, well, not the original, but the one with Cameron Diaz and Drew Barrymore. And she talked about how, she experienced a producer telling her what her eyebrows were too thick or some crazy, and that she makes Drew Barrymore.
They told her that she actually looked like too old for the role.
Too old next to Drew Barrymore, which is
Yeah.
They make that too sophisticated.
Which is insane because Nialong has personally always looked younger than Drew Barrymore to me. Drew Barrymore looks like, I'm not gonna say it. Never mind.
I don't think they meant old. I think they meant mature.
Okay, fair enough. But the other comment that she made that is getting some buzz that I thought was interesting, especially with the movie coming out, is she basically was saying it about this, is that she feels like Black Hollywood needs to drop the black movie. And by referring to certain things as black movies, she feels that it doesn't help push black actors and actresses in media. And I thought that was an interesting comment for her to make, for somebody who's been in the industry for so long. What is your take on that? Did you guys hear her talk about that? What was your kind of take on it? Did you guys see You People? And did you enjoy it? What were your thoughts?
Who wants to go first?
I saw You People. I mean,
I haven't watched it. It's on my watch list. I'll probably watch it this weekend for sure. I've read a lot about it, but I try not to do too much because I want to kind of be pleasantly surprised. But I've heard stellar things about the movie. The only thing negative I heard is that people were wishing that they saw more jokes with Eddie in the movie. But I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know what that means. A lot of people felt like a lot of his jokes were on the cutting floor versus like being in the movie, and they wanted to see more of Eddie's humor. But I also have heard that Eddie played this a little bit more serious too. So, but Courtney, I know you've watched it. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see Lauren London and anything that Nia's in. I'm excited to see that. So, what did you think?
I mean, I'll just say that I enjoyed the movie. I definitely have critique of the movie and things that I hoped for and wanted more of and things like that, which would be a whole nother long ass conversation. But I thought overall the movie was enjoyable. I think that Nia's comment, I meant to actually look back to see the exact quote of what she said, because I don't know for sure that she said Black Hollywood needs to stop calling black movies, because black movies as a like marketing whatever is a white Hollywood thing, and they pigeonhole quote unquote black movies or movies that star primarily black people as black movies and are treated as if they are only for a niche audience, when obviously all white movies everybody looks at, Chinese people, black people, everybody looks at, and they just happen to be movies. So I don't disagree with her. I think that, but I don't think that's something that Black Hollywood, so to speak, came up with. I think that was come up with by Hollywood in general, and saying, just like they say, like, black movies are a thing and apparently only black people will enjoy black movies. And I do think that causes problems for reach. And it sucks, but I think that's because the people in higher places don't have a concept of how to market something that is not necessarily like them, because there has not been, up until maybe more recently, but even now it's still not great, enough diversity, obviously, in the C-suites where people are making decisions on how things are marketed and how we are putting information out about projects that are coming out, even if they are smaller projects with smaller budgets or whatever, or they're all Black casts or all Latino casts or whatever they are. So yeah, I think she's not wrong. I don't
Right, and what
know
she's
that
saying is more in the way of what you're saying. Like she says, I think in terms like that, it holds us back. And I have to catch myself sometimes too, because I'm very proud of who I am. When I use the word black, I don't use it as a way to separate ourselves from anyone. The Best Man, final chapters, she said that it believes that black movies, using the word black movies, could jeopardize an actor's range and longevity in the entertainment industry. I use it as a way to put an exclamation point behind our greatness, because I don't think it's always been celebrated and recognized. All right. Well, yeah, you people was interesting. I definitely feel like we might need to do a YouTube conversation on it, because I thought it was good in a lot of ways, and I also thought it was just like, did y'all slap this together or what?
I will say overall, a female voice needed to be involved, and that'll be my overarching comment.
1,000,000%. 1,000,000% agree with that. All right. Well, D.
I get all these notes so I can, but I'm trying to go in with an open mind.
Yeah, that's why I don't even want to. I was going to say what I was going to say, but I'm like, I don't even want to carry this conversation any longer, because we'll just have to do it on a different YouTube. We'll have to maybe. I mean, I'm down to just do a you people one. We could do that. That would be fun. Yeah. But D, where can everyone follow you and keep in contact?
You can follow me at Derrial, DerrialChriston on all the socials. I will be attending and doing the red carpet this Sunday for the Grammys, so I'm excited about that. There is a rumor that Beyonce may make an appearance, but I keep hearing stuff back and forth. I don't know. I'm hoping that she does make an appearance, but we'll see what happens. But you can catch me there. You can catch me also on Destination LA on CBS. But most of all, you can catch me on my social. I'm always updating and putting stuff there and putting clips and let you know what's going on.
Woo. All right, brother. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, y'all. Have a great one.
All right. Okay,
Farewell.
Let's get into some Housewives, you guys. I mean, it was a week, if I say so. Ronnie, I am so excited that you are literally here right now, and we are going to be able to get on the Larsa train together.
That's right.
But I just
all day, baby, all day.
Before we get into Housewives, we have to talk about the return of Neneleaks. Because Nene hit the Breakfast Club, and she hit it running.
She hit it hard.
And not only that, but her son, he must be doing side promo for her too, because he did a TikTok. It went viral, and which apparently he's not gay. It was just a TikTok. It was a trend. But Nene on the Breakfast Club was shading the Potomac girls, and well, I guess people were saying it was shade, but I genuinely feel like what she was saying was real. I feel like the only person she shaded was Ebony K. Williams, who is a friend of all of ours, and we love her here. Before we get into Ebony, what was your take on her reaction to the whole Giselle and Robin commentary? Do you guys think there's a difference between... First of all, do you guys think Giselle and Robin are famous, or they're known Bravo-lebrities? Not celebrities, Bravo-lebrities. Are they famous housewives, or are they known housewives? What's your take?
Well, I didn't know Courtney was going first. What I guess Ronnie. I should say, I think...
Hit it, Ronnie.
I specifically... Thank you. I specifically think they are famous. You know, I want to fault Nene's comments, but at the same time, you are in a radio room where you have to read the report or whatever. She put extras on it. Nene didn't need to do them like that. Nene, you're supposed to be above the show. You weren't even that good when you were on the show. I mean, she's been upstaged by Kenya Moore from the very moment that Kenya Moore started the show. So Nene has never been interesting to me, never, not once. I think in all the... Oh yeah, she's on, you know, there's top tier housewives. Nene has never been a top tier housewife. She doesn't know anything about that. So for her, but again, because I work in radio, or I've worked in radio for years, I'm not going to fault that she had to do the report because the report was about Robin. So I won't fault that she had to put their names in her mouth. But no, they're superstars, both of them. I mean, people want to hate on Robin, but Robin presents one of the most authentic storylines because we all make mistakes. We all step in it. We all do things that we don't want to do. We're embarrassed, et cetera, et cetera. So I like Robin for that. Robin might not be a superstar, but I can't let it be known that Giselle Bryant is not a superstar. She is a superstar beyond Housewives. That's just what it is. And take it to the bank. That's what I think.
PM616 says, not on Nene's level. If Giselle and Robin were walking down the street, I doubt many people would know who they were. What? Ronnie, whoa, but I love it. I love spice us up. Come on. Like, first of all, personally, to me, Nene is arguably the top housewife. Arguably. I would throw, like, I mean, personally, like, even like Teresa, Nene, like, what? I'm shocked at that commentary, but I love it. I'm here for it.
Can I ask you a question then?
Yeah.
What has made Nene interesting?
What makes
the
Nene...
better question? Like the show should have been the show should have been a She by Sheree situation. It was in my mind, season 1, episode 1. I was there. Nene was somebody we were laughing at, not with. But if you can tell me some funny moments, I don't know. I mean, the white refrigerator, okay. Ha, ha, ha. I guess there's a chuckle. I said what I said was maybe at best kind of funny, but really she was lackluster and she was upstage. She was upstaged, you guys, and that's what it is. She's never been of interest, ever, never, not once. Mm-mm.
Okay, so from my perspective, Nene carried Real Housewives of Atlanta from season 1 to even with Kenya, up until Claudia. I feel like the Claudia season, Nene started to crumble. I feel like, but even the Claudia season, because I just went back randomly, I was watching YouTube clips, and there was from that season, I was like, oh, this season was actually really good. Like, the girls were... the battles, I think for me, with what makes Nene so special is she controlled the tone of Housewives of Atlanta for the first few seasons. She brought the fun of shade. She brought the cackles. She brought that energy of she was the mean girl, but then it was like we liked her. Everyone wanted to be on her side, on her team. Like, Cynthia was like at her feet. Kenya wanted to be her best friend. Like, Nene has it. Like, and at the end of the day, Kenya wanted to be with Nene. She wanted to be Team Nene. Nene wasn't having it. And so then Kenya had to separate herself and find her thing. But like Nene and Phaedra, I mean, iconic. Like,
I like Phaedra. I do like Phaedra, yes.
The way, I just feel like Nene brought that energy. Like, I'm flabbergasted, Ronnie. Go ahead, Courtney, because I know you sitting over there.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to be resuscitated right now. I don't even know what to do. Like, that whole diatribe that Ronnie just gave me a whole, I don't even know. I don't know who you are, Ronnie. I don't know, because I thought we were... Ooh.
Like, you just said Robin was famous.
Robin, first of all, you said Robin and Giselle is famous. That was his own thing.
Well, wait, what? So
I think they are notable. I think they are known, and I think that they are definitely Bravo celebrities. And I think Potomac would not be Potomac without definitely Giselle and maybe Robin. But honey, Nene made the Housewives as a concept a household name. Like, Atlanta with Nene at the helm skyrocketed everything about Housewives. Housewives of Atlanta was the highest rated show for the first however many seasons because of Nene. Don't get me wrong. I definitely got to the point during Housewives where Nene became the character Nene, now no longer Nene, and she became very likable and very not, to me, a functional part of Housewives. But the reason Nene was so integral to Housewives is because she was authentically herself. She was freaking funny. And she was able to deal with the ladies in ways and move them together like pieces in a show to make it a show, but not a show. Like it felt still real, but it still was. She gave show, but still keeping it real in a way that no other housewife.
Yeah, because now that I'm thinking about, like you say about Giselle, but like Nene did what Giselle does. Except,
100%.
Except the difference is Nene made it entertaining, because Giselle just sit there like, for 3 months I've been hiding that Robin's sucking dick in the bathroom. I'm like, girl, what? Like, we're eating fucking like empanadas, girl. Like, what?
Yeah. Giselle has also made herself unlikable because she's not actually revealing herself at all. Nene revealed herself. We saw Nene's layers. We saw Nene's mess. We saw Nene's problems. We saw her issues with her children. We saw her issues with her husband. Like, she was being real reality TV. Giselle's not doing that, and neither is Robin, as I'm sure we will get into further. But that's what makes them caricatures of what Nene was doing. So they're emulating Nene to be what Nene was to her show.
Just as a moment of clarity, I'm not putting all of these people in the same like conversation. I only did that because it was stated on the Breakfast Club,
right.
Nene, and she threw the light shade to them. I'm not even like saying is Giselle this or is Robin this. I do like them, yes, but I'm saying on Housewives of Atlanta, the show started season 5. When Kenya walked through that door is when the show began. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, no,
because the show, although you could take wait, let me finish, please, let me finish. Although. Well, let me just finish and then you can talk. I mean, I'm just so simply, it has like, my thing is I'm not convincing nobody. Like, I'm not trying to, if you like her, wonderful. Yay, you like her. I don't see her entertaining whatsoever. I'm glad she got all those seasons. I'm glad she made some money, but I will say the show did not begin until Kenya Moore walked in there season 5. That's just how I feel. To your point about Phaedra, yes, Phaedra was very funny. I love Candy. So a lot of the gals, huh?
Did you miss all of the Nene and Kim Zolciak shenanigans that like had like what?
And Nene
season
and Candy.
5, we have season 1 through 5 with Nene and freaking Kim. In fact, Nene and Kim were so good, they deserved their own show and almost had one. But they couldn't stop fighting to keep it going. Like, no, it did not start when Kenya. Don't get me wrong. I'm never shading Kenya. Kenya brought a lot to the show. 100%. And Kenya is probably part of the reason the show continued. Well, actually, this last season, she was terrible because she wasn't interested in trying to participate. But she has definitely been some of the reason that it has continued. But to say that the show did not exist before Kenya is a fallacy, my dear. It is a complete fallacy.
Well, not in Ronnie's world, honey.
The thing is, we don't have to like everybody. You know what I mean? Like, people might not like my broadcast style. It's like, it's their opinion. I just don't like her. People don't like Giselle, but I love Giselle. I've interviewed Giselle. She was good to me, but people don't have to like her. I don't have to like Nene. I'm saying she's a bit lackluster. And in the world of reality TV, in terms of overrated like reality stars, I would put her high on that list.
Okay.
I'm not talking about like. You said there was not a show because she did not show up, basically, and nobody showed up for 5 seasons until Kenya came, and that is what I'm talking about.
Well, they wouldn't have had. But they wouldn't have had 5 seasons to get Kenya there if there wasn't that. So.
You know what I'm saying? She was, and you don't have to like her. A lot of people cannot stand me, but she made that show. Don't ever get that twisted. I don't like Giselle right now, but I think Giselle is 100% necessary, and I don't want a Potomac without Giselle.
1,000,000%. Well,
Robin?
Yeah, I could do without her.
Perhaps, but...
Well, let's just get into Potomac, because I was going to start with Salt Lake, but let's just do Potomac since we here, y'all. But again, before we get... Here's my problem with Potomac. We just had this with Salt Lake. I don't like the lion. I don't like you trying to be a producer. Like, fine if you're going to be like the Giselle type of producer where you're just like firing shots at the dinner table. But like when you're holding information, like it just came out this week. Last week we heard about, Juan might have been in Timbuktu with some girl or something like that. And we find out that it was true, or he was talking to her during COVID because he was bored. That was what Robin said. He was bored during COVID, so he was talking to some girl. I'm like,
I mean, maybe because she was depressed during COVID and in the bed all the time. So that's possible.
Possible. But this episode, we started with Robin doing some dress shopping, and Ashley and Giselle were with her, and they were talking about how Mia wants Wendy and brought up the cooch. And this storyline carried into Robin basically saying she didn't want to invite Wendy to the bachelorette party because Wendy laughed when Karen talked about Juan grabbing her. Girl, bye. What's your take with the whole Robin not inviting Wendy? Do you think it was justified? Do you feel like, because they were trying to like reconciliation and all that kind of stuff. So like, Ronnie, what do you think?
I mean, it was probably, if you want to extend the olive branch, Robin, you should, at least invite her. You already had that weird situation, not inviting her, but saying her kids could come. So Robin, on that regard, I could kind of hold like a, come on, Robin, like, especially when it's your bachelorette party, which has taken a while for us to get there. But then on the flip side of it, I'm very Larsa Pippen in the regards of, if you don't invite me, it's really not a big deal. Like, I don't want to be nowhere that I'm not wanted. Right. So I don't think it's a big situation. Yeah.
No, but I think it's telling. Like, I hope at this point, Wendy's like, okay, girl, we're done. Like, I hope Wendy's not like going to try and like, or if Robin comes back, it's like, just be done with it at this point now. Like, you tried.
Robin was just mad that Wendy had showed her stuffs to Mia at the in Mexico, and that she didn't get to see it. So she was just mad. She was like, "Oh, you gonna do that? You gonna do that? But you're not gonna. Okay, I got you, Robin. Girl, stop. You ain't interested in Juan."
No. PM616 says Giselle and Ashley tried to form a fake storyline out of Candace and Chris, but it flopped. Meanwhile, Robin had the actual storyline. Ooh.
100%.
Did. Mia is so annoying to me. She's not Housewives material. We believe that. I don't know what Ronnie's. We'll get into that. Wendy and Karen went out to lunch. The two basically laughed at the fact that they're not going to the bachelorette party. As a matter of fact, Miss Karen's getting 4 wicks on her new candle. Nobody cares. And girl, the bow on top of that candle, I throw the cap right away. So what are you doing? Don't do that. Giselle and Mia. All right, so this was interesting because obviously Giselle's trying to figure out, like, wait, Wendy showed you her coochie, because Giselle can't picture that, because I don't picture that. And Mia says, no, honey, she touched me. She was trying to eat. She was trying to do the things to me. Do we believe Mia? Do we believe Wendy was in this euphoric state with Mia, or...
It's just weird. Like, why have we watched Wendy not like Mia for so long, and Mia also not liking Wendy? We've seen this beef. It got ugly. And then in a flip of a second, you want to tell us now there's like this intimacy. It's just not a fun watch. Like, I understand this is the show, and of course Giselle's going to run over there and go talk to Mia. They're going to try to make something of it. But as a viewer, we're just like, it feels so far from the truth, And I wasn't as entertained as I with this at all.
But Ronnie, does it also kind of add to it for you? Like for me, what bothers me with Mia is like, girl, go make up with your real friend. Like, does that bother you at all? What's your take on her and Jacqueline? Or
I'm actually surprised nobody, like, how you say Giselle like is a producer. Like, I'm surprised Giselle's more not in that business, because that is the business that seems the most entertaining, especially going back to like when they talked about whose mother was it, like somebody's mother. When it got like personal with family, I need a little bit more of that before I like want to suspend disbelief and be like, Wendy's been working. Wendy may not be the most entertaining, but she's been working to have a really good reputation on the show. Like, we get that. And now we're supposed to believe this. Like, it's just too much. And yes, I agree with you. I absolutely rather know what Jacqueline was really crying about, because it's not connecting, and there's got to be some deeper issue. I don't know how much she's trying to protect Mia, but that's the story for sure.
Well, I definitely feel like someone's protecting, because I do feel like Giselle does bring it up every episode, but then as soon as Mia is like close mouth on it, Giselle kind of pulls back from the topic, which makes me think Giselle clearly knows something and is like, okay, girl, you ain't trying to go that deep with it. I don't know. What do you think, Courtney?
I think that the Wendy thing is all kind of weird, because she did the same thing with Robin. Because remember, they had their like drunk makeup moment in, was it Miami? Mm-hmm. They went on another trip where they were fighting, and then suddenly they went to the bar that night and they were hugged up and kissing and drinking. And I'm like, is this a Wendy pattern that she just wants to be accepted? And so like she makes it fine for these girls who have treated her like crap to like be like, oh, I didn't mean it, and blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't know. I just don't care in the end. And I don't care. And I agree that it would be nice to know maybe a little bit more about, I'm actually more interested in Jacqueline than I'm interested in Mia, if I'm being real.
1,000,000%.
Like, I feel like I would want to, and I feel like Mia, you know, informing us about Jacqueline, maybe I'd be, Jacqueline informing us about Mia, I'd be interested in. But as Mia, like, I don't really care about Mia. I think it's fake and weird, and just because it's like, girl, you pretended like you weren't a stripper, then you're confident being the stripper. Like, I don't care. Just go away. And like, but her friend Jacqueline seemed like she had honest emotions about something. So I want people's actual story. Like, I want to know what's really going on. So let's follow Jacqueline and her kids.
I almost can't believe it, like this thought came to my mind, but I almost want to see Wendy with the friend of to add to her story, because we are, even again, Wendy not always the most compelling in my opinion, but she's still good for the show.
Never compelling.
But I'm saying what makes it even worse. So you got something that's like kind of challenging, and then to make it worse, you have her where she's trying to be friends with people that just don't like her. Like, I like that she's got Candace as a friend. That's good. But give us another layer of Wendy through it, you know, like a friend of hers, you know, because you get tired of watching a television program where the one person is getting treated in a certain way, and she's like almost, okay, Mia, you did that to me, but let's make up, no problem. Like, that's not, in my opinion, that's not really how Wendy felt, but it was good for TV in terms of her reputation. So maybe a friend of could help with that.
1,000,000%. I think the same thing we saw with Wendy and Robin. It was just like, girl, Robin literally was filming you laughing as someone attacked you. Like, and you're over here like, girl, like, I thought we were cool. Like, what? Like, Wendy gives me the type of girl probably growing up, like she wanted to be everyone's friend, like would be like over like pushy kind of like friend. And I feel like the show just, I don't think she's good I don't think the show is good for her. Not she's not good for the show. I don't think the show is good for Wendy, because I think
the whole authentic.
You said what?
I said the whole show feels inauthentic, like especially in these last few seasons.
Right, but at least season, if every girl. But like if the thing with Potomac right now, it's this weird enigma, right? Because it's got Giselle, Robin, Ashley, even Karen, even Charisse. Candace is learning how to play the game. Like, they're all playing a game, and we clearly are seeing that. And I'm at this point. Fine, play the fucking game. But literally, again, welcome to the circus. Be the circus. If Potomac all of a sudden is now going to be that, be it. But Wendy just doesn't fit. Like, they had that one clip of her, like, filming her TV appearance. Like, it just doesn't fit with the tone of the show. You're, like, being this esteemed teacher and, like, all this stuff. Like, it's just different franchise, girl, maybe a different franchise. It just isn't working for me, Wendy, on this show. It's I don't know how to feel about her, and that's weird. And I think bringing a friend in, girl, who I can't imagine who her friends are. Like, I feel like dry toast, no avocado. Like, what in the board? Like, I don't know. So I just feel like.
Well, do you think
Yep.
Do you think it could even be like a frenemy situation? Like, one thing about Wendy is she got her 4 degrees. Like, she's, climbed the ladder to get to where she is. Why don't we, because we know the way television is, you two, we know that, sometimes there's some shadier ways to make it to the top or whatever. Maybe we see a friend that came up with her, but maybe wasn't as morally
so like Wendy's,
as Wendy. And maybe
Charisse.
something
like Wendy's version of a Charisse, like how Karen and Charisse, like Charisse is coming, spilling Karen's tea right now. Like, you're saying someone like, oh girl, I went out, she was sucking all the teachers' dicks. Like, oh, okay, girl. Like,
well, that would be a bit much, but yes.
I mean,
that was a lot. That was a lot.
I mean, hey, that's the rumor over on Miami. So,
I mean, at this point, though, that's like adding like 50 housewives. And I'm just like, can we just get a housewife that gives us their stuff and can cause some, drama and conflict and interaction?
see,
like,
I feel like
wanna know your
Giselle
stuff.
needs a frenemy. I feel like we need an
think
opposite of
Giselle's
Giselle.
life.
Well, I'd agree with that 1,000,000%. I feel like she's
I
just bored.
think we should, if we actually see her life, we'd be like, oh, okay. Like, we don't see her life.
Because
You know nothing about Giselle. Exactly. And the fact that producers let that go, like, I don't get it. But I
Right.
guess that's Housewives.
Because
Can I-
even
shall I do it?
Ashley. What'd you say, Ronnie?
No, I know we have to move on, but shall I defend Giselle just for a moment?
Go
If
ahead.
I go in there and I set a tone, because they do say, what is it? You teach people how to treat you. We've seen producers try to ask questions, and
For
she's
sure.
like, "Nope, thank you, done." Like, and I've interviewed Giselle, like I said, and I love her energy right after she left, the AfterBuzz set, and I remember saying, "Dang, Ronnie, you got good confidence," because other people would have taken her energy and made it like, oh, she's, mean, or she's this or she's that. But I've been in this business for 20 years. Like, it didn't faze me whatsoever. In fact, I took the goods out of it. She thanked me. She said I did a great job. Like, we had like a bonding moment, even on camera and off camera. So why are we going to fault Giselle? Because because some of the other girls have tried to ask her questions before and she shuts it down. I feel like, if I'm Giselle, is that my fault that when I come to a scene and a producer tries to ask me something, I shut it down? If another housewife comes at me and I shut it down, don't I get a little credibility for that? I mean, it's an honest question. I want to know what you guys think.
I just think it's boring, personally. Like, I'm over it at this point. Like, it's not entertaining to me
Okay, no.
anymore. But like, I blame the producer more.
I blame the producers. I don't blame Giselle, because you ain't trying to put your dirt on the street for real, for real. You're trying to put as little as possible for your check. I get that.
Exactly,
I'm not faulting her for that. And I will never fault her for trying to protect Jamal because of her children. I won't fault her for that either. But all them other random Sherman and all that was really going on with these other boyfriends that she has had, like, we don't know anything else about Giselle's life except she's been putting that raggedy house together for a long time.
Oh.
And she,
Go Power Rangers.
But don't get me wrong. Like I said, I like Giselle, and I think that she is part of the reason that story does happen at all on Potomac, because she's the bone carrier, the bone stabber, the bone pusher, and everything else.
She's
But
an
at the
upgraded
same
Sheree.
time- Yeah, but I just want more from who she is, because I don't think she is as unlikable a human as she is portrayed on the show. And I do think that is producers that have accepted that this is all she's going to give. And they do want her to help push other people's problems out into open, so they keep going. I'm not with that. I wouldn't produce her that way, and I wouldn't accept it after a certain point of time. It's been they're on season 7, 6,
Yeah.
whatever it is. It's been too long. Like, girl, you got to give us something else, please.
Literally.
In addition to doing, but we need more.
Because, like, I'll say this. Like, I did interview her before. It was her, Karen, and one other person. And I've interviewed Charisse. Charisse is really nice in person. But, again, somebody who I feel like wants to be liked. So that's the only reason I feel like she even wanted to come talk. But Giselle, I agree with you. I thought she was nice. I thought she was really sweet, professional. I always say, in real life, I've always said I would be friends with Giselle. I feel like I would hang out
Yeah.
with Giselle. I could just see me, Courtney, and Giselle sitting together, laughing at all the things, doing all, like, literally.
Just like Larsa, she's got the Larsa vibe. Yeah, you see Larsa, you feel like you'd be friends with her, like 100%,
$1,000,000%.
even though you see what you see on the show. Yeah.
Right. But see, even on the show, like, I never really, I don't know what Larsa did in the first 3 seasons. I kind of like ran through them because I got into Miami last season. But for
She was only on one.
okay. Well, for Giselle, it's like I loved Giselle at the beginning, and I loved Robin at the beginning, and then again, like you said, like it just plateaued for Giselle, and now I'm just at this point of like, again, like how I don't know how to feel about Wendy. There was a moment I loved Wendy. Now I'm like, a girl, it's ick. It's giving ick. And Giselle for me is just like, what are you doing, girl? Like, you look insane because you're old, or you're like grown. You're a grown ass woman. And it's just like, who are you? I don't know you. So now you just look like this grown ass woman throwing all these bones. Like, I can't connect to that. Sorry.
Well, shout out to PM616. He's reminding us that Giselle gave us that little hysterectomy scene. Except no,
I don't
nobody
even
cared.
remember that. When I thought they were talking about when Wendy was, but that was her ovaries. I don't remember what it was. But
Well, it's the same thing because she had Giselle has fibroids and will probably have to have a hysterectomy. So she told us that might be happening while she was driving her car. Again, nothing. Nobody cares. What's really going on, Giselle? We hear you got a hot box, girl. Who you boning? Who got good dick? Like, let us know something.
oh, exactly. Yeah, because that's the tea that we want to know.
Aaron might have been trying to shade you, but like, if you getting the good deed, like, talk about it. Let us know. Like, oh yes, I am, and it's good, and I like it, and he is cute, and this, that, and the other. But Giselle still lives in old church lady life.
I know, and I think that's the thing. We want her to be like, because she's beautiful, she's gorgeous. Like, we all see the potential of Giselle, like, in my gay ass creative mind. But everyone is who they is. But let's get into this bachelorette party. First of all, Mia, why are you bringing a friend? Like, didn't we try this already? Like, who is this girl? Why are you bringing her? Luckily, we didn't get any fights or scenes with this girl. Mia and Ashley are wearing the same outfit, and Mia had kept hinting. You said what?
She said hoes recognize hoes.
And they do. Shout out to the Surf and Turf Strip Club. Mia was into that. Also, why is Mia consistently running these events? Like Charisse said, I wanted the Charisse event, bachelorette party.
I didn't.
Really?
No.
I'm just so sick of these girls. It's like strippers, strip clubs, like bolos. Like, what is going on? What is going on?
What do you mean what is going on? It's a bachelorette party. Why can't we see strip clubs? Like, it should be
I suppose.
good food and good alcohol. Absolutely. And I fully support that it is surf and turf. And if it's good, because sometimes the strip clubs have real good food. So I'm with it. And Candace was the highlight of that evening for me with her sunglasses and her judgment. I loved it all.
Did. What else happened at this? Everything happened.
One thing.
What?
That Robin was the bachelorette, but she came dressed like she was going to an office Christmas party.
I can't. With that green.
Can we talk about that? Because it was supposed to be like hot girls going out like you did in college, I think was the theme. And
think about when she went to college.
She ain't that much older than me, and I was not wearing no suit with sequins on the shoulder to no club.
That wasn't like 80s?
No, she was not in college. She was in college in like the late 90s.
How old is Robin?
Robin is like 40.
I think 42. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So she would have been. It would have been like 99 or 2000 in college. Yeah.
She's not that old.
2001. Yeah.
Well, who knows? Because that outfit was not it. We got Candace saying that she saw that Chris saw Michael with some girl at his restaurant, and Ashley just ate that because you need to, girl. Look how the time ticks. Look how karma comes back around for the little slap on the wrist. And then Charisse had her moment. And Charisse said that Karen disappeared at a club back in the day that they had went to, and is known for getting drunk and sucking all of the dicks. Now, do you guys think this is an attempt to get rid of Karen? With
No.
Giselle, Charisse, and Robin? Do you see that at all? Could that be within this?
I don't think so, because Karen, she's just loved by so many. I mean, I guess, yeah, coming from Giselle and Charisse's part, I don't think it's that. I think it's just Charisse maybe feeling left out. You know, here this huge show came together. You were at the beginning of it, and for whatever reason, you're not being asked back, you know, season after season. And then I think Charisse also goes through it online. I mean, I personally thought she looked beautiful in her reunion gown. I know a lot of people wanted to eat her up, but I thought she looked, you know, wonderful and dressed to her age and body type. So I'm not going to knock that. But
Yeah,
but
there was a clip of
Okay.
this. Someone put her on a flyer for like doing your year-end taxes, and I fell
Right.
out.
But I do think you're right. She looked age appropriate and mother of the bride. Like, yeah.
All right, well, good.
But I don't think they're trying to get rid of Karen. I think they're just trying to bust Karen's bubble because they don't like how big her ego is. And she has been able to hold on to her, oh, I'm this grande dame of perfection, and I'm confident and I'm calm and I'm together. And really, she probably is messy as hell. We just don't know.
Okay,
about
but do
it.
we think she's out here sucking all the dicks?
I think at some point she probably was.
See, I feel like there was one dick, and then that turned into like
3 or 4. It could have been a few. It could have been a couple.
really. So you think Karen just is that girl that just gets drunk and she's like, "Oh, babe, I'm like."
I
mean,
think
maybe.
we've seen that she can be a little different with the liquor. So even when like Giselle gets drunk, she goes home to her room. For every trip they've ever been on,
Right
just
at
always
8:00.
home, and she's early. I think that we have seen that, and they even admitted it, and Karen has admitted it, I think, on one of the reunions. She's like, yeah, I get a little, you know, she gets a little, you know, different on the sauce.
Now, do
So
we
she-
think Ray is cool with that?
I mean, maybe
kind
not
of.
yes, but
Like,
now,
do you guys agree with what Mia said? G said, like, after when older guys, they kind of let their women cheat because they can't produce in the bedroom.
Whatever reason you make of it, I think there is still some kind of truth to that. Yeah. I mean, that's just, yeah.
And I think it's very important that she's not embarrassing him. So like that's why it was part of her like need to be this buttoned up perfection, because she's not, as long as you're not embarrassing me out in the streets, do what you do, because I love you and we love each other and we're gonna be together, but I know I can't give you the D.
Right. Well, and then next week we get Karen and Chris pissed, and then I thought it was interesting on Watch What Happens Live. Candace was on it, and they must have just filmed the reunion. And she said that after this reunion, she's officially done with Ashley, and that Mia got it the worst out of all the girls.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I'm
Well,
wondering.
then in that case, we need more cast members, because I don't like stories being rehashed over and over. Fine, you don't like Ashley. Ashley don't like you. We need something else. That, you know, I don't want to be one of these people who turns my back on the show. I still like Potomac. I know people didn't like this season, but I feel like this was just a blip. They'll be back next season, but they gotta work it out a little bit. Yeah.
I think Ashley and Candace need to work it out, because they would be way more fun together coming for people than they are fighting all the damn time about nothing.
Yeah, but Ashley likes this little back and forth pocket she found, and Candace is not about that. I also am looking at, I like Candace, but like for her career, I think maybe one more season tops, and then pull off and just put everything into your music. Like, you're out here doing Essence Fest, you got, you know, Trina on a track, like the next one has to be bigger and better. So like, I hope she's moving in that direction. And I don't know. So that's my thing with her.
Was for this season, Candace wasn't super present, except at the top of the season when they accused Chris. But then, you know, the Miami trip, she showed up late. Like, she hasn't been huge, like a part of all of the conflict past what happened with Chris at the top of the season, which I'm not saying is a bad thing. I'm just saying that, like, clearly she got other shit to do that maybe is more important.
Like, let's get 2 new girls and replace Wendy and Candace. I'd be here for something like that. Let's get into Salt Lake. Reunion 2. Mary Cosby is coming back next season. It's rumored as a friend. So that's cool.
That'll help.
That will help. We got more on this black eye. And Heather says she's not concerned because she felt she was drinking and whatever happened to her and she deserved it. Weirdo. Who says that? You deserved it.
I don't like it because I feel like she tried to turn it into, and maybe it is accurate that she actually has all this guilt and emotion about being a drunk, blackout, crazy person, and she's embarrassed, maybe. But I don't buy it. I think it was bullshit because I think she knows what happened, and I don't buy it, and I don't want to hear it no more, and I'm tired of it, and I hate this because I liked Heather, and now I just don't.
Ronnie, where are you at with the black eye?
Well, I've never been a big Heather fan or Whitney. I think Heather was a new level of Housewives and how we're casting the show. Like, she was a fan. She was a fan of the show, self-proclaimed fan. I don't think that's a good idea.
Agreed.
She of course is always going to be good on Twitter and thank everybody. She just doesn't carry herself in a space where I'm going to make my opinions. She self-produces to make sure Twitter is happy, to make sure Instagram's happy. And again, we did talk a minute ago about like everybody self-produces to a degree, but I feel like it's harder for her to continue seasons because now she's got to add up all the lies, or not really lies, but she's got to add up her story. We need her to just let it go, be herself, and maybe she will have a redeeming next season. Whitney, to me, though, definitely needs to go to Friend of. And I really don't have a ton of opinions on this Salt Lake because I really wasn't watching a lot of it. However, Meredith,
Ronnie, I don't understand. I just don't get why you wouldn't like me. I mean, like,
oh my God, can we skip it? Can we skip it?
I can't. I don't understand why you don't. My thing is, Ronnie, my thing is, Heather, I just don't get, like, you knew what I was going through. But, like, why Jen? Why, Ronnie? I just want to know what it is about me.
I don't know.
Like, I have a husband, I question sometimes if the kids are all mine either. But, like, I just am trying to figure it out.
It's so awful.
And here's my storyline.
Exhausting. It's not even awful at this point. It's like... So what did you guys think when Heather said, I held you, Whitney, to a higher standard?
I thought it was all bullshit. I don't want to hear it. They're all stupid. I hate them all. I don't like it. I don't want it. Throw it away.
Why I really want to throw Heather away is you take no accountability.
None.
And, it's funny because I talked to a friend who, she doesn't really watch the show, but she was listening to it as it was in the other room. And she watches Housewives, but not Salt Lake. And she said, I really loved, I'm not watching this season, but I loved how Andy really got in on one of the girls talking about Meredith. Because he did. I will give him that. I feel like he questioned Meredith multiple times. And this is what I don't like about Andy. You should have did that to Heather, but you like Heather. And you want to cater, you want to coddle her because she's scared, she's dealing with these internal issues. And so, if you ask Meredith's going to be a cold bitch. She's going to continue to give you the same. I just don't know, guilty until innocent until proven guilty. I mean, it's just what it is, Andy. Like, you should have went that hard on Heather, but you didn't. And that's why this whole thing is a circus. It's just a circus. It's not a real show. Andy.
Or maybe he just doesn't care the same way we all are. Like, we don't care. Shut up, Heather. You're annoying.
But then at least go say to her, say that, like he does to some
yeah,
of the
I agree
other
with
girls.
You, Jesse. I agree with you. I was watching it and I'm like, I wish I could recall what it was, but he lobbed something to her so easily for her to just be like, yes, I believe that was one of the issues. Oh, it was the issue of, do you think bringing up all the stuff by writing your book is what impaired your judgment? on some of your actions this season. I was like, he doesn't do that to anybody. He does not do that. Like, and I even was like, okay, Heather, I'll be chill about being frustrated about her performance on the show because that was done so well. It was a great excuse, let's say. As for Meredith and all the women, I just feel like this whole Salt Lake is just a really challenging watch just because, you know, the network, you know, the executives, et cetera, they want to follow this Jen storyline. I didn't want to see it. I don't want to see, you know, imagine if you knew somebody who went through what they went through with Jen and that situation. Like, you know, you're putting her on the TV every week to showcase that. But I will defend to a degree Meredith because, and all of them, because why do I want to do this show? Like, I came to do this show to be a housewife, have a little bit of fun, and now you got this major issue, and then you're making me stand behind, well, you said this season 2, you said this season 3, you said this. It's like, I honestly would have been a little bit pissed, as Meredith kind of was, if I was in a season where all of this was going on, and it felt like Meredith was on trial. It just, I didn't like it.
Okay, so here's my question to you guys, because I've never thought this until that with Meredith. Do you think that, because obviously we know Jen is a bully, she's apparently like a thug and people are like nervous, like she might come beat them up. So do you guys think that possibly, you know, these girls are all starting businesses, clearly they all share, you know, money and host parties for each other. Do you guys think at all, at any point, Jen maybe contributed money to or something to maybe Heather's business or Meredith's business, and then came back like, if you guys aren't my friends, I'm going to out you and I'm going to put you guys involved in this. I gave you money. That's you know, whatever it's called when you take money from something that was stolen or something. I don't know. I just kind of went back to the Erica Jane thing from Beverly Hills when the girls were nervous about that. And then they were all thinking like, did I take anything? Did she gift me anything? I don't know. Did that cross your mind at all?
It's a possibility, but it's not a show I want to watch. That's all I got for that.
Right, it's dark.
I'm just stuck on, I don't care. I don't care about nothing that's going on in none of their lives. Like, as people, like nothing. Like, I have nothing to say about caring about anything that's happening for anyone. And outside of the Jen nonsense. And the only reason the Jen nonsense was slightly fascinating was because of all of their obsession with her, even though she was a horrible human being to all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I get what you're saying. Like, maybe she gave them some money on some level, like possibly. I don't necessarily think that's the case.
Like, it feels like she has something over their head.
No, it feels very much like they're a very, very, very white bread community. And like, she's the ethnic girl that came in that was cool and everybody wanted to be cool with the cool girl. And that's why I hate it even more, because I'm like, y'all grown ass women and that's what y'all worried about.
Okay, I can see that. So let's wrap it up. I mean, we got the husbands. I thought that was John and Seth. And John, I just feel like my thing is like, you guys have, especially with the men, and we'll get into this in Miami. I know John loves Seth, and I know Seth loves John. So I do believe it was genuine when John was like, you know, it really bothered me that you joked about Lisa, you know, in the closet or whatever. And then seeing Meredith like kind of come to that, like she realized like that was a real feeling from him. So I do appreciate that they didn't go back and forth, because I felt like it was almost going to be a back and forth thing. And it's like, you guys are not, I always looked at the men on this show like they were the ones that like how Jersey used to be. It was like they all used to laugh with each other at the women and all this stuff. And now it's become like the guys are, hey girl, like trying to be a part of this. And so I don't know, I felt like they could have kept the guys back as well. And then their regrets ending the reunion was Heather said, I'm so deep with Jen, why drop her now? And I'm just like, girl, I hope your next book is called My Sad Life, because what she regret.
Well, I have a question about that though.
You
Sorry. I do have a question about that. Sorry to drop you or to interrupt you. Do you feel like, from a friend perspective, okay, assuming you are, say for instance, you and I are in that situation, though God, we would never, and I did some real illegal shit that hurt some people.
This conversation can't even happen, because if you did some illegal shit like that, to be honest, I am a ride or die, and I would ride by you. Even if you did, I'd be like, she was fucked up, but like, I love her. The difference is you're not an abusive friend to me. You, like, it wouldn't even get to that point. You know what I'm saying? Like,
agreed. But in Heather's case, if we are to believe what is happening, what is saying,
we're in the circus.
She doesn't accept that the abuse is a problem, because that's still her friend in her world, and in her brain, that is still her friend. And in her mind, she's saying, you don't kick somebody when they're down, which I don't disagree with. I'm not saying you should give money to her, defense fund, or maybe you put money on her books because she's in jail at that point. I don't know. But I'm not totally like the idea that she should just be able to just be done with her and wash her hands of her, I think is an interesting conversation.
Well, I think it's more interesting for me. I think that comes because it's just like interesting who Heather creates a problem with and doesn't want to be like work with on a friendship to people who would be better friends with her. Like I think Lisa would be a genuine good friend to Heather. But Heather just ties into the Meredith and Jen thing, so she doesn't allow that connection to happen. So like, I get where she's at. I've been in that toxic place where I didn't think something was abuse and pushed away people that genuinely cared about me to, cater to someone who didn't. And again, if they went to jail, I would have been the first to bail them out, so I get it, but it's sad. That's why I said my sad life. I don't know. Ronnie, what do you think?
Oh gosh, I feel bad because you never want to take a check out of someone's pocket, but Heather needs to definitely be demoted to a friend for her own health. You know what I mean? For her own mental health. Like, this is all too much. She's balancing what the church thinks, which is, I could understand that value. She's trying. Say it again.
Well, that's a lot of stress. I understand that stress.
Well, so you have that element going. And again, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, she was from day one too much of a fan, so she's been trying to be on the show based on how she'll light up Twitter and become like a fan favorite. So you're so inauthentic to who you are, and then you get smack dab with this really kind of a one-of-a-kind situation with Jen, and it's just too much that I don't want to see it. I don't want to see her push through it. Keep her involved, that way she can make money or whatever, stay on TV, etc. But she's got to be a friend for her own mental health, because there's too many things. Anytime Heather talks, my mind actually hears 7 different voices as a viewer. And so clearly that's an issue.
100%. And that leads us to this point, girl. You can get on all the girls' trips. They'll love you. And then the last thing was the cake. And Lisa I hope she really does not try to push this singing thing, but I feel like it's coming.
I love Lisa. Lisa's like the only reason to watch nowadays. I love Lisa. I'm tired of Meredith not giving her a second chance. Lisa and Meredith is the only redeeming opportunity for this show. They're like so fun to watch, and yet we're gonna be angry. No, I need Lisa. All Lisa all the time, front and center. She should lead the show. That's what I think.
Okay, I don't think she should lead the show, but I am a fan. I do like Lisa. I think her personality is quirky, and she puts her foot in her mouth, which causes entertaining drama, and then just watching her try to squiggle out the bag. But she can't carry it. She doesn't have that brain to do that. But I do love her. I think she is an important part to the show.
Important part to the show. But if I was Meredith, no, we ain't going to be friends again. Not like we were. Even though Meredith keeps being in denial about still being mad about why they ain't friends no more. Like, girl, that's why y'all ain't friends no more. Because you probably were humping somebody in New York, but you weren't humping all of New York. And the way she put your business out on the street like that, we ain't cool ever again. But Meredith will continue to lie about that.
Which is funny, because wasn't Jen the one that told them that in the first place? So,
stupid.
But let's get into Real Housewives of Miami, which was Low-key a snooze, but had some good moments to it.
That gringo dinner. Ooh,
Let's talk about the gringo dinner. Alexis, I feel like everything Alexis said to Nicole was legit. I just hate that it came from Alexis. Because, again, we all know how I feel about what happened last week. Got into it. I understand all y'all on TikTok disagree with what I said because y'all was coming at me on someone else's comments. I still believe it. I still think Nicole... Like, everyone was eating Nicole up last week. They were like, yeah, she ate. Nicole is carrying the show. Absolutely not. It was tacky. She doesn't have a storyline. She's trying to force a storyline, which is why she did that. And I guarantee you, I would be really interested to know when that sign-up date for that card was. I'd be real interested because guarantee it's within 2 years. And that's why she was so excited to throw it down, because people who have money like that, they just aren't doing stuff like that. I don't know. I just felt like the whole thing was weird. And then this turning from I thought Anthony was everything the first 2 episodes of this season. And now I am blown away. And I'm just like, Nicole, are you going to watch this back and be like, yes, that's my man?
I'm back on Team Anthony after that conversation because Alexia's husband was low blowing on purpose like a real biatch.
$1,000,000% agree with that too.
Child and all this stuff and like coming for another man. And I was like, first of all, the men, I don't like when the men in women's business at all in that kind of way. Like y'all was both doing too much. But I felt like at least in this situation, Anthony kept his cool. He argued, but he didn't get out of pocket the way that homeboy was, Alexia's man was. And I'm sorry, Alexia girl, no, absolutely not. Shut the fuck up. What's her name? Nicole, absolutely wrong that she tossed that credit card out at that lawyer the way that she did. I understood where it came from, but she was out of pocket for that. And Alexia needs to shut the hell up, spending a whole episode telling somebody they need to, how could they possibly not know how to apologize when that bitch ain't never said sorry a day in her life for the bullshit that she does, which we clearly saw the previous season. So if it was Marisol, anybody else, it would have been a great episode.
Exactly.
It was coming from Alexia, makes it completely null and void, and she needs to shut the F up.
Wait, but do you guys think it's interesting, Ronnie, do you think it's interesting that Alexia came so hard at Nicole, but then it was like Nicole wants that relationship with Alexis? It was to me that was interesting, like how I would have thought based on the actions we're seeing, Nicole would be mad at Alexia now. Now it's, I don't know. What was your take?
Well, before I do state that, I do want to say that every week I do a Real Housewives of Miami recap. I'll show the visual. I don't know if you could see it. It's on randomlyronniejr.com, so please check that out. We do that with russellraysilva.com.
Hey.
So we have fun doing that. So it's me and Russell, a little R&R, and we talk about Miami. Now, Jesse, let's talk about it. And again, that's randomlyronniejr.com. Please go check it out. We put a lot of fun into it. And I am very similar, where Nicole is not eating. She is not eating. I don't know who is seeing what they think they're seeing, but she is not eating. And this is not a Larsa, I love Larsa, conversation. I just don't think Nicole is being, I mean, I don't want to say authentic, but I don't know that she's always being authentic. I chuckled when you said she's had that card for 2 years, because yes, nobody is intimidated by money. Like if you got it, great. But like people aren't really moved that way. Some people are, I suppose. But she is really arcing something for us. And it has made me switch back and forth with like, oh, Dr. Anthony, or what's his name? Anthony Lopez. He used to be kind of like a vibe, but I'm like, these two, I don't know.
She's Alexia involving him too much, I feel like.
And Alexia did say they do work well together because of sort of how they concoct these stories or do what they do. She is playing Dr. Nicole. I'm so sorry about it, but she's playing very, oh my God, I had no idea. Like, it's just, it's, we can see it from a mile away that she does have a sense of what's going on, but she does want to be the one to be like, oh, I just want to make the girls be friends together. I want us to be able to go to the Bahamas and everything work out. It's kind of like she throws out the bait knowing Alexia's going to go to these different places, and Alexia will always do that because Alexia is very unfiltered. and then she gets to play the role. So I am 200% agreeing with damn near everything Jesse already said at the beginning.
Well, a lot of people on TikTok were talking about, like, their argument for Nicole was that these girls are jealous of her because she's so wealthy and Jeff Bezos bought her home or something like that. And so jokingly, I was like, well, girl, like, Kyle Richards don't need to sell her home to Jeff Bezos. It wasn't even Jeff Bezos. It was his parents. And, like, I don't know. So then my ass went right on there to see who the richest housewives were. Googled it down. Now, who knows if all these are true or not. But, like, I went kind of deep searching to see what I could find on her wealth. And she don't even really hit. You know, she hits. She makes about $300,000 a year, you know, and she's worth about 1.2 or 2 point something million, which is incredible. Not denying that, but these people were all trying to say she's one of the most wealthiest housewives, and I'm like, is that the image she's trying to portray on the show so that people just believe she's that wealthy? Or I don't know. I don't know. It just came across real tacky to me, and I'm just not here for Nicole. I'm sorry, girl. I am glad though. This episode, I feel like we got a lot of Lisa. Even though we saw her talking about Lenny, I feel like she got out more, and I felt like it wasn't like her in her head when she was hanging with Larsa, then when she went to the thing later. So I feel like, and now that she's saying this has been a month now, and I thought last week he was talking about putting her in another home. He talking about looking for a rental. A rental, sir.
I feel like that was only part of the story. Like, is he trying to sell the massive house?
Well, my idea is that I feel like the new girlfriend is like, Lenny, we need the party house. Like, we're going to do da. And in Lenny's mind, he's like, get the kids out, get her out. I can throw my parties, go see my kids when I want to. She don't need this. She don't need the party. She can't even run the boats. Like, I think Lenny's like, in his mind, you can't keep up with this. What do you get? And it's more money he's going to have to spend. I think that's where his mind is. Just trying to have fun.
I'm very confused by the whole situation because I'm very, not that this is a equal thing, but I'm very Angela Bassett, run across the freeway. Like, you don't get to talk to me. You could have everything except my name. Like, that's just how I feel as a human in a lot of cases, which is, I guess, different. So I'm more like, if I was Lisa, I'd be like, I wouldn't even want to be in the house. I don't, but everyone does. Now, the other aspect of it, we were talking about this on youtube.com/randomlyronnie Jr. last week, is I guess there's an assertion of dominance to the house that you have to stay in order to, for things to work in your favor in court. Because, yeah, if it was me on a human level, I would be like, no, you can't ever look at me. Like, you can never talk to me, et cetera, et cetera. But I guess she has to kind of fight for wanting to be in the home. And so her going to a rental would really screw her up in the long run in terms of the court. He's just trying to make her feel guilty about it. Like, he's like, oh, I'm trying to set you up. It's going to be worse. But in reality, again, I'm not for sure on all of this, but this is what I'm learning, is that in reality, he's guilt tripping her to leave. And then it's all Lenny, he kind of redeems quite a bit in the situation.
Yeah, because if she deserts the domicile, like, she loses footing in divorce settlements and whose house is who and all of that stuff. So that's because even the girls were like, you can't leave the house, you can't leave the house. Like, that's some real ish. But also, I get it, it's stressful. But I said this last week and the week before, you're not kicking me out of my house with my children. Like,
I'd be like, the house is big enough.
Again, if it's just me, that's a whole nother story. But me and my kids, absolutely not.
And I did watch last episode of you guys. You always do so well, both of you. And I heard that comment, and I totally agree with it, and see it, and feel it, and touch it, and taste it. But there's just something about me. I'm just like, in my if it was my situation, it would be like, I'd want those kids and I'd want us to leave and never look at that house. Like, I don't know why I'm so like that, but I'm very like, not burn the house down, but burn that house down. I just feel like it's such an uncomfortable situation. If this guy did this to you, what Lenny did to Lisa, like, I wish you couldn't step out, never come back to that house, and still make sure when you're in court, everything works out. I don't feel like my kids, I don't have kids. I don't feel like my kids would be in a better situation just because they've already lived there. We could restart. I think healthy environments are so important, but unfortunately, when it comes to breaking up like this, and if there's no prenup, this is what it is. So that's why I think last week's episode, we took to it so much, because it was hard to picture ourselves in a situation like that.
It's funny you said that, because I would normally, like I said last week, my mindset was exactly that. Like, I don't even want to be in here. But then as I thought about like my nephews, and like my nephew's around like 7, 8, the idea of him sleeping, like, I'll always joke like, let's go to California. You want to come with me to California? He's like, no. Like, he don't want to sleep out of his bed. He don't want to sleep over someone else's house. Like, so obviously, I don't have kids, so it's a different thing. But to see him like that, I could, as a mother, if I knew my kid was like that, I think I probably would, exactly what you're saying. If it was just me, peace out, I'm gonna burn the house down, and I'm gonna get half of that insurance settlement too, and bye. But the kid does kind of throw the whole thing a little bit for a loop for me, because and
a lot of it too is like securing. It's not just about the now. It's because leaving the house, number one, look, she has a job. She's on TV to a degree. But what she's making on television to survive in the city that she is in is not the same, the way that she's living. So she's going to have to substantially change how she's living with her children as well. And I'm not saying, obviously, there are worse situations. You could be homeless, living in a shelter, and clearly she would not be that. But that is a major I think concern that she should be having about how she's going to secure their future, because Lenny's behavior is showing that if she leaves the house and then she's given up whatever kind of leverage that she has, any claim to that real estate, he's already making it clear he ain't really trying to do right by her. So he ain't really trying to do right by her kids if he's not trying to do right by her, because she's still their mother. So the fact that you would put yourself in a potentially further losing situation is also an issue for your children. So I think it's important, like what you're saying, Ronnie, about like the environment being healthy and all of that. I think that solely comes from Lisa figuring out how to deal with being in the house without causing the tension that she's causing, because she's emotional. Because if she's going to stay in the house, she got to be cordial and be okay to help diminish that energy that exists for the kids. But I do think it's important for her to figure out what's going to put her in the best situation if Lenny, once this is all over, has decided he's just going to fuck his new girlfriend and make babies and leave her out in the cold. Because clearly she's not going to have the income that she once had. And Miami Housewives could go away in another season. And so she's got to figure out what's going to make her life solid for herself and those children going forward.
So does she have a good relationship with her parents? Because we don't know
about her parents. Like I don't remember her talking about any parents, her family at all in previous seasons for real.
I believe she stated in one of the seasons, it's hard to kind of remember everything, that she doesn't really have a relationship with her family. So that's a whole nother layer. And actually us as viewers in this season, we would like to kind of hear that or see that. Cause where do you turn to?
Well, because I think it's interesting how her connection with how Lenny's mom is, so much in contact with her, and we haven't obviously. It's interesting because that also kind of brings me to the whole like leaving. Like if she had parents, she would feel more comfortable leaving, just getting up and leaving the house, because she has a support system somewhere else, kind of a thing, like if she was that kind of stressed. But that was, I didn't know any, I don't remember anything from the last seasons about her family. I just thought that was interesting that nobody's kind of come to her rescue.
Like she hasn't discussed any like substantial support system outside of her friends. That doesn't mean it doesn't exist, but clearly it don't look like it exists.
All right, last topic before we get into what's going to happen next week. Was the Adriana going to lunch at Baccarat, and I just wanted to talk about that because I want to go to lunch there and eat all of those things. And I love that I just think she's such a character, and I'm so interested for her to be the villain next week. Her little Jersey Shore outfit at Baccarat, like this image she wants to, I'm not gonna say wants to put out there because she's putting it out there. And I'm not mad at it. I low-key love it because she's a woman of a certain age, and she's living her best damn life, and she's having lunch at Baccarat, and she's in a music video with go-go dancers on a yacht, and like she's such an interesting character. She's interesting to me. She's boring but interesting. Like, I don't actually care about her real life. She's just fascinating to watch in certain situations. I don't know. What's you guys' take? And the whole lesbian child thing, like, I just snooze fest.
Oh, with Julia, yeah. Julia is giving a snooze fest. I mean, there's some really positive things that are being said, in terms of, what two women of that age would go through, but it's still not really connecting, but I'll at least give it that.
It was interesting to know that, though. I didn't know that, but that's interesting to know that.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, I love Melissa Gorga, but it's very Melissa Gorga in the regards of where people don't really believe you're going to carry this through. So it feels very like, okay, we're on this journey that does not feel like I don't feel like I'm going to see Martina with the kid after the reunion, but it played nicely, I guess, on the story as a storyline. Now, Jesse, this is fascinating because I watched season 1, 2, and 3. Adriana was a hot mess, and it's always kind of funny. I thought it was attributed to her age. I think she's the oldest one on the show, and I mean that with love because I got no issue with people getting older. But when she was on the show, like she put hands on Joanna Krupa. Like, she is a hot mess. It's almost like she's been playing a character this season. So it's not really, to me, the preview. Yeah, it's not the preview saying she's letting loose and all of a sudden mad or whatever. It's like she got ate up by Larsa last season, like ate up. We want to talk about eating. She got ate up by Larsa last season. So I felt like she's kind of been like, let me play I don't want to call anyone playing a position, but I'm a part-timer, because she used to not be. She used to be kind of the main focal point, which is probably why the show got canceled. That's the truth. So I think she had
wait. You think Adriana is playing a character of like, let me not start it up again? Like,
well, I just think she was being, a lot of her scenes at the beginning, she played goofy, she played quirky, she played Julia's best friend. There was a lot of like, you could tell by the music in the show.
You're saying the beginning of this season.
This season,
okay.
Yeah. So I'm just, but anyways, we all have different sides of us, so who cares? I could be wrong on that. I'm just saying, next of the previews, to me, that's the real Adriana. That's, her like, I did a music video and no one like supported it. That was like, this, you probably in real life are probably hot about this, but you want to be like, oh, the girls didn't show me support. Oh, well, I tried my best. It's like, Adriana, I watched the other seasons, but I did give credibility that she's a little older now, and maybe she kind of like slowed down. We're not always as hotheads as we used to be. But bottom line, it's going to be interesting. I don't know who she threw water at, and I'm not a fan of that because I watch these shows. I love the shade. We could go for that, but when it gets to any type of physical things, and again, she put her hands on Joanna Krupa that one season. I'm not a big fan of who she threw water at or how it developed, because that's not the show I like.
Oh, what's that, Courtney? What's that look?
I mean, if she's here, just be the real you, girl. So look, I enjoyed Adriana back in the day on the old seasons just because I thought she was cute to look at, and I loved her blue wedding dress when she married the Frenchman that was making a boat for her. I would love to know what actually happened to the Frenchman. Like, I'd like to know like what's really going on in her life. I feel like we get little bits of glimpses that like things aren't going great and she's making her money trying to be a pop star. Who knows? I don't know. And then last season she was slightly having an affair with Julia, but not like, it was just weird. So I don't even know what to do with Adriana. Like,
oh my God, I forgot that was the thing last year.
Yeah, it's kind of just comic relief at this point. So, I mean, sure, turn up, girl, get mad at somebody. And like, why were bitches like falling in the ocean together or crawling over? Like, I don't know what's going to happen, but
and you know what?
disappointed. So hopefully it'll be continually good.
You guys make all these great points because there is the other side of it. Like Adriana is compelling television, and I really did feel completely authentic when she said, you know, it's hard for me to not be friendly with Marisol and Alexia like I used to be. I think about like that group where they did stay together those 10 years between the show being canceled and the show getting a reboot. Like that would be a little frustrating if you ask me, where we all were down for each other trying to make this work, and then all of a sudden we're back on the TV and now I don't have this group of friends really riding for me anymore. It's a little playing the victim, but I could also say that I have a little sympathy for that part of Adriana. And I love Adriana. I love that she's the oldest. I love that she speaks 5 languages. I love that she's an art dealer. She has a lot, but let's just get ready to see what she's going to serve up these next episodes, because you may see some old Adriana season 2 and 3 and 1 too.
Which I'm not, because she brought the conflict in those earlier seasons. So I'm not mad at it, but we'll see.
And
we'll
again,
see.
I am here. What I've said about this show, it comes across more authentic than a lot of the other ones. So if there's a little like scuffle, I'm okay with that, because you've given a season of authentic. I don't feel like the scuffle comes from like someone, you know, like that one season on Atlanta where I don't remember what the friend name was, and she brought her nephew, and then it turned violent because of Kenya. Like, you know what I mean? Like that was like, okay, this is getting like scary. You know what I mean? Like I don't mind a little scuffle if it's like comes across authentic. Like Adriana I can see that side of that angry side of her. I didn't watch the first few seasons, but I could see that. Like now that you're saying that and thinking about last season, and like I feel like every scene this season of Adriana is her trying to compete with Larsa, and maybe that's been a running thing. But like, girl, you was at Baccarat wearing your Fear of God or whatever hat you were wearing, like out here looking like 2001 Jersey Shore. As like the style was just like, I get what you were doing, and you were at Baccarat, so like clearly no shade, because I wish, but like, and
She's
then
56, give her a break.
No, that's what I'm saying, but I love it. That's what I do like about her. I don't look at it like she's forcing it in like a tacky way. He's
more saying that no one dresses like that regardless. It's not an age thing.
Oh,
it's like
no, it was just, that was just that outfit. I usually like most of the stuff she puts on, but like that was not the thing. But either or, I'm excited for next week. Ronnie, we got.
And I wholeheartedly do agree with you about the restaurants and stuff. Now, I have not been there, but I actually did go to Ball and Chain where they had the argument with Todd and Anthony. I've been. That's in Little Havana. Yeah. There's like a Celia Cruz ice cream shop right next door. There's the Domino Park right next door where the older guys play dominoes. So yeah, that I was familiar. I've actually ate at that restaurant.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. That gringo dinner made me want. I remember going to Miami, and I don't know what the name of the place was, but I went 3 times in like 4 days. And it was the best Cuban food I've ever had in my life. So as they were eating that, all I could think about that, and I was like, "Oh, when we going to Miami?" Because what? But that's all we got for you guys this week. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys for leaving comments in the chat. And leave a comment down below if you're watching this tomorrow, whatever day. And let us know which Housewives franchise you're feeling, or what part of the circus you was enjoying earlier in the show. Ronnie, where can everyone follow you, and where can everyone keep in contact and watch all your stuff?
Most of the stuff is at randomlyronniejr.com. And please forgive, I wasn't sure what platform we were using. So this green background I was not going to use. And I was going to throw a green screen, like a keystroke in there. And now that there wasn't one, it looks so dusty. So before you come at me, understand I would have done a regular background had I known green screen wasn't an option. I'm just saying, if you want to talk loud in the comments, I see you, we see each other, etc., etc. But no, for real, please go. I love my opinion. You know, I'm very Larsa in that way. And I usually do stand the 10 toes down because, you know, while I also, as a human, cry often and we go through all our mood swings, I have been at this thing since 2002 in terms of broadcast. So I really hope that if you do go to my channel, which is found at randomlyronniejr.com, like that you can see that, you know, I'm not always shady. I'm not always emotional. I'm kind of all over the place in a really healthy way. So I love what I put together. And then when I saw what you guys put together at Next Mood Swing, I was like super congratulatory of that. So thank you for having me, and thank you for giving an entertaining show. Jesse goes a little far sometimes with the what is it, conspiracy, because I'm like, ooh, wait a minute. But it's a really good show, and of course Courtney brings the beauty each and every week. So thank you for having me.
Yes, she does. And thank you, Ronnie. And make sure you guys check out randomlyronniejr.com. Courtney, what about you?
I'm just in these streets, honey. Same place all the time as Stuart Starlet, all over the Instagrams and the websites and the Facebooks and the whatevers.
Boom. And you already know, you guys can hit me up everywhere at DJ Jesse J. Hit us up at Next Mood Swing across all social media platforms. Leave a comment down below. Hit that subscribe. Leave a comment down below and hit that subscribe, because I know you didn't do it yet. But I still love you anyways. Until next week, same time, same place. Peace.